Oh, shit. Sorry. I was on a different tab.
Best start ever.
Yeah, let's cut that part out. All right. What is going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to episode 137 of Clips and Dip, part of the 2-3 Hoops Empire. If you're a fan of Spectrum News 1, perhaps you saw Will and I on it earlier this morning. That was a good time. But today, we have myself, Adam Oslem, and Will Updike, as well as Grand Crew's own friend of the show, before the fame, some of the fame, Carl Tart. We're here to talk how we felt after game one, how we're feeling heading into game two. Carl, you're our guest. How are you feeling today as the Clippers are up 1-0 on the Phoenix Suns?
Well, as you know, thanks for having me, first of all. As you know, anytime a Clipper fan is feeling comfortable, that's the wrong place to be in.
That is very fair.
Definitely not feeling comfortable. Definitely added that much more pressure because because we won a game. This is dread. This is like it is. I'm not feeling good. Of course, I'm feeling good. I was happy. I had a real big meltdown. I was at brunch yesterday watching the Laker game, with the Laker Memphis game. I was with a bunch of Laker fans, of course, and I was donned in my my standard edition Clipper cardigan.
Sure.
And I was getting a lot of
101.
Yeah, and I was getting a lot of hate, and because I was wearing that, and because they did what they do, get a lot of calls, not a lot of calls to the other team. The other team kind of, didn't play as good. Ja got hurt, so I was really upset by that. Laker fans were happy about that, of course. And I was like, we got to win tonight. Like, I had a bit of a meltdown. I ain't gonna lie. I was up in there like screaming. I was so I was in brunch. Like, I maybe had a couple too many mimosas, but I was in there like, this always happens. This always happens. This team is garbage. Like this, and it's just like so frustrating because this was in Inglewood, so all the older gentlemen in there had their Michael Cooper jerseys on or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But nah, man, I feel good that we got the game. Of course, I feel great about that. But I've been holding on to this this dread that our defense wasn't great and they just missed a lot of shots on that side, and that's kind of weighing me down. And I'm like, you guys talked about Russ a lot on last episode. I was just listening to it, and I don't want to harp on Russ, but
go for it, harp away.
But 19 shots, my man.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the 19 shots. We're gonna talk about
you're John Wall or something.
Yeah. You think you my man John Wall? I'm gonna get my John Wall jersey.
Yeah, yeah. You got to turn that 1 into a 0. Yeah, we're gonna definitely talk what needs to happen for the Clips to win game 2. And all that good stuff. Adam, Will, now that we've had a day to decompress, how are y'all feeling? Adam, I'll go to you as the Clippers sit idly by at 1-0. Have you come down from the high last night, or are you still pretty hopped up?
No, I didn't sleep that much. I was feeling too good after last night. I did have some similar thoughts after the Lakers win over the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, they're getting lucky again. The Clippers are in a dogfight against the Phoenix Suns, and Memphis is about to lay down for the Lakers, even though they got the 7th spot and had to go through the play-in. So I was feeling a little bit of that impending doom, like everything's working out for the Lakers, and it put more pressure on the Clippers in that game last night. But obviously they didn't feel it, or they did, and they played through it and responded very well. They were down by 9 in that third quarter, and they came up with a huge victory. And even though Russ did take 19 shots and only make 3 of them, I take that as an encouraging sign that they were able to win anyways. That almost says the margin for error may be a little bit wider than we thought it was in this series. They're not quite as slim. It's still slim, but it's not quite as difficult maybe. And I'm assuming the Phoenix Suns are going to play better, but they still shot 48% last night. They just didn't take that many threes. And if Torrey Craig is going to go 9 for 12 and have 22 points and you still win that ball game, you survive that, because we talked about role players and how they could step up and be killers and decide or swing a game in this series. That's a good thing that the Clippers were able to win. They certainly didn't empty the clip. They still got a lot of tricks up their sleeve, I feel like, and a lot of performances that are still coming from guys who weren't great for them last night.
Will, where are you at?
I'm feeling great, man. I for the first time am like, can we really do this and like do it kind of in quick fashion, which I do still think is the Clippers' probably best way if they are gonna get it done, is like not having this thing stretch out beyond say 5 games. Like I think if you get into that 6-7 territory, that's like maybe enough. That's almost doubling the amount of experience KD has with this team. He was already really, really good. I guess just like looking at it at the math problem of the whole thing, like, can you continue to keep Phoenix sub 23 point attempts? I don't know about that. Can you keep them sub 25? Maybe. And then just like looking forward, I mean, like Durant had a great game. I don't think it was his best punch, but I think looking with how little time this team has had together in Phoenix, like, can you reasonably expect, if the sample size is only 4 or 5 games, that you'll have to endure a game where you get the best games out of both Durant and Booker? Because the way I'm feeling right now, the way I'm looking at it right now is no. And I think if you don't get the best games out of 2 of those guys and our role guys continue to step up the way that we have, I don't know, man. The Suns are going to struggle in those minutes. When one of their big 2 is not on the floor. And I do think like when Campaign comes back, that might be able to change things a little bit. They might be able to punish the Clippers a little bit more in those minutes. But basically, if the Clippers are assured, that big of a cushion anytime a star is off the floor, I'm liking the odds. I don't know. I'm feeling really, really good about this series right now.
And there was a debate on Twitter, and Carl, I kind of want to talk to you about this. Did the Clippers steal game 1? Because that's the narrative that's kind of being pushed, at least on some social media. And I don't know if you can say the Clippers stole game 1. Like, sure, Kawhi had 38 points, played over 40 minutes. The 40 minutes is going to happen every single game in these playoffs. But, like, we didn't have anyone completely lose their mind from the field. Like, we didn't have a Bones Highland 25-point game. Like,
Yeah.
Do you see it as the Clippers just straight up beat them in that game?
Yeah, we straight up beat them. We outplayed them. They came back on us. We went down. I was, my stomach was in knots, so I was making a bowl of Tums and milk and
oh my God.
Tummos.
He had the Carl Tummos.
Are those Kellogg's or
Kellogg's post-brand Tummos.
Yeah.
And but like we went down and we battled back, and I think we continued to battle. They didn't take enough shots. Their bench didn't have the firepower that even y'all were talking about the bench a lot in the last episode. Their bench has shown that they can play well over the past few games since All-Star break. Their bench has stepped up quite a bit. Didn't they take one from Denver with a good performance by their bench?
The Clippers?
No, the Suns.
The Suns.
Oh, I was going to say Clippers. Clippers did not beat Denver.
I know that we didn't beat them. Oh my God.
Well, that's what's crazy is like their bench, like they have some pieces, but it looked like Monty Williams didn't really know how any of them were going to play together with some of the other guys in the starting lineup, right? Like you look at the minutes distribution on the bench. Shamet played 23 minutes. No one else for the Suns bench played more than 7.5.
Yeah.
So like that balance is all messed up.
They're going to make adjustments on that. I don't think you can say, I think it's disrespectful to say we stole one. I think it's the same thing that, when we beat the Lakers in that last game and they were at full health and, we were down PG and the people I went to high school with in the group chat were all like, man, y'all had to play Kawhi 40 minutes to beat us. Like, okay, so he did his job.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
What are we talking about? Like, you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You got the GOAT and when healthy, a top 5 player in the league. Yeah. So yeah, we had our top 5 player in the league out there doing his job, and we were down a player. We were down a top 15 player. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so I think that's the same thing. We're never going to get our credit.
Very good point.
And they're gonna say, well, they stole that. They shouldn't have won that. Phoenix is gonna do that. And of course, that stuff is gonna get in our heads. And also, we're 4 smart people here, so we know that Monty Williams is a smart coach, and he is going to make changes in his. He's gonna adjust, and he's a good coach with adjustments and things like that. So we got to be aware. But I won't say we stole it. I think we earned that. If we had stole it, they wouldn't have scored more than 100 points. That's a steal.
That's
It's
a good
like
call.
we win 127-92, and Norm Powell
that's a throw it
got
out
30, and Norm Powell's got 30, and Bones Highland's got 25, and Eric Gordon's got 28, and Rocco comes in and has 6 threes. Like that's a stealing a game. No,
Right.
we just outplayed them, and they got outplayed and outcoached.
That'll be game 4 to end the series. Will be the game that you
that's when we get to. They're gonna put Kevin Durant sitting down in the end of the third quarter.
Adam, where are you at on this? I know you had some big thoughts about this. This stolen game. Even getting into it on Twitter.
For those of you who are new to the pod, Adam is the I would say kind of surprisingly Twitter warrior of this podcast. You get into it with more people on Twitter. You've been blocked during an episode before.
I'm the Twitter watchdog.
Yeah.
Like, any BS out there, I'm barking at it. And it came from Shane Young, who a lot of people would say is a Phoenix Suns apologist or a Phoenix Suns fan.
He loves Chris Paul, who was worse than Russ, despite Russ going 3 for 19, which is insane. But
he was not a fan of them bringing in Russell Westbrook. A lot of people weren't, in that he has been one of the guys saying they don't necessarily need a point guard. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. And he does fine work. But I responded to him saying Clippers steal game 1 on the road. He does. He does a great job. I appreciate his analysis.
Great job or fine work?
He does quality work. Clippers steal game 1 on the road, taking home court advantage in this series. So I responded with steal, ? He said a road team winning game 1 as underdogs is definitely a steal. I said, not if you outplay the opposition most of the game and have Kawhi Leonard. He said, still considered a steal. That's why it's in multiple headlines today. I say, yes, headlines, LOL. They weren't down 10 for most of the ball game and then stole it at the end. But okay, that's what I would consider a steal. If you were being dominated the majority of the ball game, then all of a sudden a couple of turnovers by the opposition, they let you back in and you win the game.
That's
not what happened in this Clippers game.
For sure.
Is all.
An upset is different than a steal.
An upset is absolutely different than a steal.
Yeah. The steal is disrespectful. It's a little bit dismissive. Now, if you're saying they stole back or took back home court advantage, I can accept that. That makes a little bit more sense to me. But describing the game as stealing it just because they won and were the underdogs, I don't think is, a very good way to wrap up how game 1 was laid out, because the Clippers just outplayed them for the most part.
Outplayed them the whole time. And they weren't out there like bumbling idiots. They weren't out there being Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers. They weren't doing that. Like, it wasn't. They were playing good basketball. They got Kevin Durant. Didn't he have a triple double?
He was close.
He was 1 rebound away.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, come on. Like, it wasn't a steal. It was you all counted us out. Everybody counted us out. We even counted us out. Like. And
as Clippers fans, we are ingrained after what we've watched to say we probably aren't going to win game 1.
I've personally been saying I'm tired of that. I've dealt with so much Laker delusion over the past few weeks, with them being like they're going to the finals and the Vegas odds going all the way they were, and then I'm done. I'm being delusional. We're winning this series, and I don't even believe that's delusional anymore. I'm beating my chest.
Oh, I'd agree. It's not delusional. We're up 1-0.
We're up 1-0. We're winning this series. We're gonna win it. They like and we'll see what happens from there on out. But it's ridiculous that we always have to be some of the people who perpetuate the beat down that we take.
Sure.
So it's like if the headlines say steal, that's because the headlines ain't never respected us.
Very true. Yeah.
Well, the headlines are trying to be over the top, and headlines aren't context. Screaming headlines are to get people to read it. That means nothing. It's technically a steal because headlines say that. Who cares what a damn headline says? It's clickbait.
I mean, the Clippers won 3.5 quarters of this game. Like,
right.
There was like a small chance where it seemed like they might be out of it. And that was really it, man. Like, other than that, it was a pretty complete victory.
Yeah.
What's crazy?
Gave 1 quarter.
Yeah. That's what we've done all year. We give 1 quarter, we try and take the other 3. What's so great about winning game 1 too is now we talked about the pressure, how the Clippers, they don't have, 4 games in 7 days. Really hurts Paul George's timeline to come back. Kind of hurts the whole like gel factor with the team. All that pressure's on the Suns now. Because now there's this team where everyone's talking about headlines, like, what is this bench going to do? Does this bench even really know how to play with KD and things like that in these high leverage situations? Now they're on that flip side of the less time while trying to figure out more than, like, Monty Williams has more to figure out than Ty Lue has to figure out, I think.
I think that pressure is especially difficult on a team of this style of play that's a jump shooting team. Because those are very fine precision type of shots. It's not a team that gets to the basket and destroys you in the post or just dumps it off to DeAndre Ayton. Even he attempts jump shots. And he hit a couple, I think, on Ivica Zubac yesterday, but Big Zoo outplayed him overall. But for a team that has some mental scars over the past couple of years, have had some really down moments in the Phoenix Suns, for them to already be feeling the fire after game 1 in the first round like this, and to have that much pressure heaped upon their shoulders, that's not going to be easy because, like I said, the Clippers, they didn't empty the clip. Will, you said it last night. I thought you put it best. There was no outlier performance from this Clippers team that got them the victory. A lot of what they did is repeatable. In fact, some of the outlier stuff was on the negative side. Russ going 3 of 19. Yes, it's happened once before, but it's unlikely to happen again in the same series, especially getting up 19 shots. I expect him to take less. But Kevin Durant was good. He didn't take a lot of shots, but he was still good out there. He had 17 points in the second quarter. They got 14 free throw attempts in the second quarter. Bones Highland got hit in the face. They didn't get the benefit of a great whistle in that ball game. They still found a way to win. Norman Powell can still get an easy 20-plus in this series. Terrence Mann can play much better. They have a ton of guys that can still erupt and have a big performance, and we call that the Terrence Mann game or the Bones Highland game. They haven't had one of those yet. So the Clippers still have a lot left in their quiver. They got a lot left that they can show the Suns too before they adjust.
One thing I'm kind of curious about, and we've talked a little bit about like the rotations and how I think it's kind of limited until at least campaign comes back, what the Suns can do from like a personnel perspective to try to match up better with these Clippers. One thing I'm curious to see if they make the adjustment to is trying to attack the drop coverage a little bit harder, because that was a big key. I feel like in some of those long range shots that the Suns are happy to settle for, right? They're called the mid-range mafia for a reason, but do they maybe switch the emphasis to trying to get to the rim a little bit more in those situations, especially when they feel they have a mismatch? And is that something that could be successful? Is that too big of a change for the Suns? I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about.
I mean, who are the guys that are going to be doing that? Chris Paul isn't someone who's getting downhill and getting easy layups anymore like he used to. Devin Booker could, but he just had a situation where he had his shot blocked in the biggest moments. Speaking of pressure, he's going to have to deal with overcoming that after arguing with the referee and Russell Westbrook throwing the ball off of him. Like, I don't know if they have the personnel that's really equipped to do that.
Could we see Ayton get a little bit more aggressive though? Because I feel like that's one thing that maybe they didn't take full advantage of.
Oh yeah, Carl, how'd you feel about your favorite boy Zoo in this game 1?
Listen, man. Let me tell y'all something. How many points did Torrey Craig have?
Torrey Craig had 20.
22, right?
22, correct.
All right, let's move on from Zubac.
That's the point. The point is for Torrey Craig to have 22, though. Who cares?
Listen, this man got online and said, "Did you expect to have 22 points tonight?" He said, "Yeah, once I saw Zubac was guarding me."
Right. That's disrespectful.
Because he wasn't really guarding him either. He was shading off of him. He was on him just so he could still have a foot in the lane.
Listen, what is Zoo? You guys are Zoos.
What does Zoo got to do?
Zooters. Y'all are Zooters.
We are. Absolutely. What
does
Zoo got to do to get a thumbs up from you?
Also,
in game 2?
If we talking about Zubac, I need you to do something for me, Adam Oslin.
What's that?
Name the center. I need you to name 10 of the top 10 centers in this league.
Well, because I said Zoo's the top 10 center in this league?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you probably 10. Look, okay, who's better than Zoo? Let's go there.
That's what I meant. That's what
Embiid, Jokic.
Bam, I guess, if you count him.
Would you rather have Zoo or Bam?
You'd rather have Bam.
Yeah.
Would you rather have?
He's smaller.
We know him. We know your answers to Embiid and Jokic. Would you rather have Valanciunas or Zoo?
Zoo.
Oh, Zoo.
I think it's Zoo.
Zoo
honestly,
easy
for me.
Zoo
He's
easy.
better at
I don't know
defense.
I don't know if I feel that way.
Especially
Better
on this
defender
Clippers
and
team.
like just his reliability, like Zoo's reliability is.
Now, while I'll give y'all this, Zoo is better than Mason Plumlee. The people who think that Mason should be starting, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Big win.
I don't agree with that. Mason Plumlee is the starting center in the league. He may be on the bottom.
Hornets.
Carl, you're saying the Clippers are going to win this series. If they do, you're also going to be saying Ivica Zubac is better than DeAndre Ayton because that's a fact.
I hope you're right. But right now, would you rather have DeAndre Ayton or Ivica Zubac on your team?
Zoo and his contract for sure.
We're not talking about contracts. We're not talking about math.
Okay, let's talk about defensive play within 6 feet of the rim. DeAndre Ayton's given up 62% in those situations. He's not the defender that Ivica Zubac is at the rim, which is what the Clippers need.
Can he catch the ball and make a mid-range?
Give me your numbers on who's better at catching the ball and who has better hands.
Man, I don't know the numbers. I'm gonna tell you like
It
that.
might be Ayton though. I'm gonna be real on this one. It might be
Every team, every fan base complains about like unless
Would
you
you rather
have
have
Jokic
Nick
or Embiid.
Claxton or Ivica Zubac?
You could go to Cleveland and maybe go to Jared Allen or Evan Mobley.
Both of them. I mean,
then you're
I'd
in
rather
business.
have Jared Allen than.
Then you're in business.
I'd rather have Evan Mobley as well.
But I think it's pretty obvious as a defensive center, Zubac is in the top 10. He is.
Listen, I was proud of Zubac this year. I think there were times where we needed him to come up more, and he didn't. There were times where he got into bad foul trouble, and he didn't need to. He just wasn't quick enough on his feet. There are matchups that exploit him in a way that other centers, even when they are on the lower tier, don't get exploited. And he bothers me sometimes.
Give details. I'm not hearing
Dude was also
specifics
really
here.
good offensively. He was the most efficient offensive player to start this game.
Would you rather have my man? What's the Twins' name in Milwaukee?
Lopez?
Would you rather have Brooke Lopez or Ivica Zubac?
Well, Lopez was just nominated.
Probably
for, like,
Lopez, yeah.
DPOY, so yeah.
Probably
I think
Lopez. He's top 10 for sure.
All right. Thank you so much. That's all I'm gonna say.
You didn't name 10 guys better than Zoo.
I think I named 7. 8. So I'll give you, if he's top 10, he's 10.
He's top 10.
Absolutely, yeah. He's not like top 5. It's like how it's like how
he might be
PG
8
is
or
in the
9.
top. It's like how PG is in the top 10 player.
But
Come on,
AD
man.
is top
Don't you
5
dare.
for Carl.
Don't you fix your face? Who?
AD.
Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he is top 5. Come on, that's basketball. That's basketball.
No
When
one
he's
who
healthy,
can't.
when
No,
he's balling-
no one who is dependent on someone else offensively is a top 5 player. Period.
All right. Well, we agree to disagree. I'm telling you from a basketball standpoint, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the plus minus. I don't know all that stuff.
I'm just saying,
But
what team
from a
has Anthony
basketball
Davis led
standpoint-
without a better ball handler next to him? And what team could he lead without a better ball handler than him next to
Well,
him?
I mean, so you think Jokic is the number 2 center in the league, right?
It's like Jokic and Embiid, I think, are that 1-2.
Yeah, they're like
I
they're
think
a tier, and then there's kind of everybody else.
Do you think what does Jokic do with AD, a healthy AD versus what does healthy AD do with Jokic? Like against each other, versus each other.
Oh,
like,
versus each other.
Versus each other. AD's cooking him.
Like in a one-on-one, or
I think that's a little bit overrated. That Anthony
One-on-one?
Davis always gets the
Yeah.
best of Nikola Jokic. I think it's overrated.
We can agree to disagree. Here's one thing.
Oh, we can agree that
we
Zoo's top 10 now. We went
All
through
right.
it.
All right. Yeah, 10 and a half. 10.5.
all right. We got to get this back on track. We're talking.
I'd rather have him than Thor from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Just
Fair.
say
We'll
you
take
saw him
that.
drop some basketballs he shouldn't for a guy at his size, even though
very
he had
true.
broken hands at the moment. And that's where this
Fingers.
whole stigma
Broken hands.
comes with Ivica
His first-
Zubac. When he
his
first
first-
came in, he had broken fingers.
On both hands. He had a broken finger on both hands.
And he's had that for the past 4 years.
Yep.
You just said you were impressed with him this season.
Palmer-
Get out
Palmer-
of
I
here.
was more impressed. He had a 29 and 31 game, and I was like, okay, all right.
Carl's like, why can't he do this every game?
Why can't he do that every night?
How many of
Because
those
Kawhi
other-
needs to take shots. Other guys got to take shots.
If he's not an MVP candidate, he ain't a good big man, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's
you
how
know-
it goes. Welcome to the modern NBA, Adam.
Yeah, man. If he ain't got no rings, I'll just say.
All right, coming
If
up.
this was a surprising Twitter warrior conversation, it would have gone much worse.
All right, coming up, we're talking Clippers in game 2, what they'll need to do other than Zoo having 37 and 27. We got ads coming up. If they've been too loud for you, go ahead and turn it down. Game 2 talk coming up in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back into Clips and Dip, your friendly neighborhood Clippers podcast. We're joined by Carl Tart today. We talked about how we're feeling coming off of game 1. What are you guys expecting to see from Clippers game 2? Adam, I'll go ahead and kick it to you. You sometimes you generally have some good stuff to say.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Fine work from Adam.
Yeah, I raise it up to quality once in a while, but I said it last night. I just think Norman Powell has to be more involved offensively. As good as Eric Gordon was, 12 of his 19 points came in that first quarter. I don't know if he's getting 19 for them. I mean, if you want to say that was the Eric Gordon game, even though I think he'll have close to 20 again in one of these games upcoming, but it may not be in game 2. He may not be able to sustain this performance and roll it over. Norman Powell, though, only having 14 points, 6 of those coming in the fourth quarter. Get him rolling. Get him going downhill because the Clippers lost the free throw battle. They attempted 29. The Suns attempted 33. If you want to win that, and I think they need to overall in the series, Norman Powell's got to get involved. And it's not just about him and his foul baiting, which people call it, or him exaggerating the contact.
I mean,
he gets to the rim. Sometimes
he's the only guy
that.
in the league that does that. Famously, he's the only guy in the league that does that. It's disgusting.
He's still, if you're attacking right at the cylinder, you're going to get more calls. And that's what Norman Powell does, especially when he's going to his right. Unless Big Zoo's there, which he's not because he's on his team, nobody can stop him at the rim.
Yeah, only 4 free throw attempts for Powell in this one. And we talked about kind of coming into this game, like the free throw disparity and like volume and efficiency from 3 are offensively just the 2 best things the Clippers can do to overwhelm the talent for the Suns, right? So I think a Clippers, it just goes back to the stolen thing. A Clippers win wherein Norm Powell only takes 4 free throw attempts. Also not really stealing anything.
Good call.
Another thing, too, that was kind of interesting is we had how many starters with 4 or more fouls for the Suns? I think we could have pushed the issue a little bit more and even got things a little bit hairier for the Suns and how they could defend us going down the stretch.
4 of their 5 guys had at least 4 fouls. That's crazy.
And, part of the reason the Phoenix Suns and their guys off the bench in that rotation was out of whack, they started Torrey Craig. They wanted to go that route. So that kind of threw everything out of source for them. That
Campaign
effect.
is questionable for game 2. Carl, do you think if Campaign plays, the spread right now is 7.5 points. Do you think if Campaign plays, the Clippers are in, I don't know if trouble's the right word, but you know what I mean? Like that just bolsters. I mean, he's their best bench player, obviously. So
yeah, I hate Campaign. He is on my
Why?
number one. He's such an annoying little dude. Like
fair. I know exactly what you're saying when you say that.
Such an annoying little dude. I hate him against every team. I hate him against teams that I hate. When I see him coming to the game against the Celtics, I'm rooting for the Celtics.
Right.
When I really cannot stand him. He seems like I'm such a loudmouth when I'm good and I mostly suck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
Does it make sense?
Mean.
Like,
I know what you're saying.
He just, that good name change for me. But I do think that, against teams like the Clippers, he does play well, and with Chris Paul not being tip top, I think he's a good backup point guard for him. And but I also think that I trust Russ on Campaign. If that sounds crazy,
it does.
No, we talked a little bit coming into this series.
I
think when Russ is an on-ball defender, he is not. I mean, he's not as bad as people have made him out to be over his career. No. And I was saying coming into the series, like, I'm not losing my mind if it's Russ on Booker or Russ on Chris Paul, in a one-on-one like type of situation. I don't think that you're getting burned 51% of the time, as Adam would guess.
I'm losing more of my mind if he's guarding Devin Booker, but I'm not losing my mind if he's guarding Campaign.
Hey, I saw this that just came out. Joey Lynn put this out on Twitter, but Russ defended KD, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul for 59 combined possessions. They scored just 6 points on 25% shooting.
Yeah, but how many shots did they actually take?
Yeah, how many shots did
There may be a reason they didn't take that many shots. If you don't get to your spots, you're not taking them as much. He was good yesterday defensively, really good.
I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he shut down these three players in a dynamic way that held them to 20% shooting.
Here's the thing about him guarding.
Because Kawhi guarded a lot of
those. He had a role in it.
He started on KD, right? So I think KD.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. KD was played that stupidly, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because
yeah. That's
why
fair.
are you not just going to the post and killing him? Like.
Yes.
He's trying to prove some stupid shit, and that's why he's not taking enough shots and being inefficient. As inefficient as he's gonna be
as KD.
like,
yeah. So with Russ, I'm not gonna you know how I feel about that stat, but he's got to take less than 19 shots, right? I don't think we're getting through another game with a victory if Russ is. And I'm not even saying going 3 of 19. I'm saying just taking 19 shots. He should not be taking 19 shots.
Yeah. That was John Starks game 7 against Houston in 94, 2 of 18. But
right.
I would say like 14 shots around there maximum. If he goes 6 of 14 tomorrow night, that would be fine. And he did miss a lot of easy ones. That little fall away leaner he's got. He can hit those. That's what he did against that game against Memphis when they didn't have Kawhi Leonard. An hour before the game, they figured that out, and Russ won it for him in that back-to-back in Memphis. Jeez. He was hitting that consistently. He's capable of a bounce-back performance offensively, but, yeah, it doesn't have to be 19 shots.
Yeah. How much is Kawhi going to play? Are we in line for another – it's at least 40, right? Like, is it just 20 and then 20, and we hope that in those 4 minutes he's not playing – that the bench and Russ can figure it out? Like, it has to be 40.
Yeah, he's going to play 40 minutes.
Yeah, I don't see any way for the Clippers to win with him playing less than that. But that's the playoffs. Like that.
Yeah, that's what he's here for.
That's what he sat all season for.
Yes, literally. We said it on the last pod. This is why this is the good example of load management working is 40 plus minutes, 38 points, defending the best players on the other team.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid of the Suns at all. Like, if you watched his shots, none of his shots were in the paint. He does not care what they're throwing at him. They would shade doubles when he was guarded by KD with Ayton coming around and pretending he did not care at all. Like, we need Kawhi to play 40. I hope we don't need 38 from Kawhi. We are going to need 30, right? I don't want to sound crazy there, but like, I'm hoping. I don't know if it's Terrence. I don't know if it's another bench guy.
Well, you talked about not being afraid of the Suns. And I think a guy that could step up and is definitely not afraid of the Suns is Terrence Mann.
Yeah. He's not afraid of anybody.
He's not afraid of anybody. I love the way he was guarding CP. What do you want to see, Carl Tart, from Terrence Mann? From
pain enemy number 1.
I want to see Terrence Mann play the game that I know he can play. Not timidly.
A lot of turnovers last game. He had the most on the team, I think.
Yeah,
4, yeah.
Too many turnovers. I was so stressed out, and my tummos weren't super working. So I went to the movies and to watch Air. And
I'm so stressed out.
I gotta go see a feel good story about a man getting a first shoe deal.
Yeah.
But
is this a paid promotion?
Hey, listen, man, I'm not a corporate shill, but if I were to be, I would say go see the motion picture Air. No,
the motion picture.
Pretty good movie, by the way. But I want to see him cut down on the turnovers. I want to see him step up defensively, and I want to see him also fulfill his role. His role is Kroger brand, PG, and Kawhi. Like he's our guy.
I'll take that. I mean? Yeah, he went 0 for 3 from 3. You like to see at least one of those fall.
I want one of those go in. I want him to take more. Like don't fall into old. One thing I used to get mad at him about in previous seasons was he would get into I'm scared mode, or at least what it felt like.
He passed up that the layup right underneath the rim. I think he passed out to Gordon. Nick Batum, and he missed a 3. And it was kind of like, Terrence, I don't know, man. We're up 5. Maybe just lay it in.
Lay it in, bro. Lay it in. So I want to see that. Yeah, like you said, cut down on turnovers and just play it at your clip, bro. Like, do what you do. Like, be that guy that we need you to be when Kawhi needs a breather. And you're the defensive anchor out there with some players that may not be as defensively strong as you are.
Especially if Powell ends up getting more minutes. I think that he could really help out there, especially if those guys are out there with Kawhi taking a break. I think.
Did I tell y'all I saw him? I told y'all I saw him, right?
Who?
Did I tell you the story of seeing Terrence Mann at Creation?
Organic?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy he's eating so healthy. That's
living
wonderful.
right.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm driving to the gym in the morning.
Was that the same day you saw Justin Turner and his wife?
No, not the
that'd
same
be a
day.
crazy
That would have been insane, but it might have been around the same week. It was a good week, but it was a few weeks ago. I'm driving down the street. My gym is on Highland and Santa Monica, basically. So I drive down. I get off the freeway at Cahuenga and take the Wilcox to Lexington, and on the corner of Lexington and Highland is a Creation. And so I pull up, and Terrence Mann is there with his lady, real looker. And
good for Terrence.
That man is in the NBA.
And got a second contract, more importantly, not just in the NBA.
Yeah.
Contractually in the
NBA. And so he had like a box of something, and they're kind of talking. They got a dog out. I think they're like letting the dog pee. And I see him. I go, that's Terrence Mann. And I'm like, I let down my window and I go, T-Man. And he like looks up and I go, Clipper Nation, baby. And he goes, and just kind of keeps walking. I'll send you guys the picture of his back.
Is the pooper scooper in it as well?
That's so funny.
But like he didn't give me no, and I was like, damn, I feel like a stupid ass for yelling at it. Like it made me feel so, because I don't like, I get weird with that type of stuff, especially with athletes and stuff like that. And so I was just like, damn, I shouldn't have bothered him. But because he was not enthused. But then I also was like, well, what did I expect him to do? My man, walk over to my car and give me a
oh my God, is that Carl Tart from Grand Crew?
I know you from Clips and Dip.
Yeah. Yeah, he does not know you from that. That's very fair. Yeah, man, I hope Terrence Mann can feel the connection he felt when you yelled at him at Creation and have a better game too.
he did not. Wait a minute. Hold the phone.
Carl Tart?
Is that my man right there who was a background on Glee? Glee is my favorite show.
He's going to have one of those Jordan Poole performances when he sees the baddies on the sidelines, just thinking about Carl Tart.
When Terrence Mann sees Carl Tart, he's just, wow, just destroying DeAndre Ayton. That's a good time. What? I don't know. Are we worried about anyone on the bench from the Suns?
Shamit.
Are they going to change their starting lineup also? Because the Clippers aren't. The Clippers won game one. If the Clippers would have lost, I think we would have seen a starting lineup change. I don't know what it is. But the Clippers won, so we're going steady. Are the Suns going to put Okogie in? Because a lot of Suns fans were pissed off that he did not play.
If they go back to Okogie, I kind of feel like that's them already a little shook.
It's a white flag. It's conceding.
Maybe making the change early was already them being a little bit nervous about the defense and dealing with Kawhi. But I think too, it's only a 5-point loss. To immediately make the change, I think that is a good sign for the Clippers that maybe there's an over adjustment happening there, which to me would lead me to believe that they got some uncertainty, that they're a little scared of this Clippers team.
Yeah, they're running out of moves while the Clippers still have so many in their bag with Coach Lue that they can still make out there. So, per usual, hey, Rocco could still get in this series.
My God, dude. I've wanted Robert Covington to play so much more basketball this year. And even I am no longer on we might see Rocco come out there and do his little thing. I would love it. I am not. I'm resigned. That is in my, I don't know. I don't even know where
I thought
I'm
it was
putting
going to be
that.
him. Those practice,
The practice jersey photos.
We thought he was guarding Brandon Boston Jr., who was KD in practice.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to start Rocco on KD.
If they lost game one, I thought they would have done that. I think if they lost,
the real question is, Carl Tart, did you buy the Rocco jersey? Is that why he is doomed in this Clippers rotation?
I did not buy the Rocco jersey because I don't want him to get traded.
All right.
What did you do with the John Wall jersey?
It's hanging up in my closet.
Okay, that's cool.
Next to my next to my 3 Pat Bevs, 2
So
Lou
Tobias
Williamses,
Harris, yeah.
my Tobias Harris 84. Could be soon a zoo. I went back to NBA auctions to get a zoo because there was a zoo up there.
So they could trade his ass.
Probably the cheapest jersey on the site. That's
How
not
much?
and that was
How much?
I was disrespected by that. It was
How much was
it was 300
for like a game
for
worn
a
jersey?
game worn jersey.
For like a game worn
Oh,
jersey?
gotcha.
Yeah,
Was it his 30-29 game though?
it was not that one.
Oh, that would have been actually super tight.
That one probably went for a lot. If he didn't keep that one, I would have
$1,200.
That's gonna be the best game of his career.
Zoo probably sold it himself. He was like $1,200, game worn.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Pay my brother.
Yeah. I was gonna buy it. I was like, yeah, let me get this Zoo because I was thinking of the jerseys of the players that I could fit on the team, and it's probably Zoo's, even though it would be super long, but I could fit it up top.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. You're like, it fits up top. Just look at me from here up, and it looks great.
Carl, what would Big Zoo have to do to impress you in this series? Average 15 and 15?
Hell yeah. And he can do that.
Absolutely.
We know he can do that.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes a game?
To be fair,
he can do that.
To be fair,
a top 10
already at
center in the league
12.
should be doing that.
He's already at 12 and 15, so he just needs 3 more points next game in the same
A top 10
rebounds.
center in the league should be doing that.
Part of it is they don't feature him, but when they do, he performs.
Less than 2 turnovers. I'm giving him 2. 2.
That's a good metric, actually. I like that idea.
Yeah.
He had 3
I'm
last
on
game.
board for that.
That's the we talked about. So turnovers, if the Clippers aren't shooting themselves in the foot, they got a good chance to win this game too. Will, what's another thing maybe you're looking for in game 2? To bring it back 2-0 to Los Angeles.
To bring it back to 2-0. Well, I mean, we already talked about Norm Powell going off. We talked about some of the bench guys. I'm just curious to see how Kawhi is going to adjust if they do end up sending doubles at him more
doubles.
aggressively.
Yeah,
and I think that it can go either way. I mean, I've been really impressed at times with Kawhi being able to pass out of those situations. But what happens if we don't get the performances that we got last night from other role player guys? What if shots aren't going down?
The Adam Osland train of thought here.
What is his answer then?
Yeah.
What is our answer then? How do we counter?
Norm, man, Bones, they can all play much better. Eric Gordon could still
Bones
get you
especially.
15. Bones especially.
Well, I mean, he's got to average 15 to 18, or I'm going to lose my shirt over this series.
I was surprised that he got minutes like he did.
Who, Bones?
Yeah.
I kind of was too, man. Like 13 was kind of a lot for that game 1.
So here was my thing with that. We talked about this a little bit coming in. I asked these guys if they thought Terrence Mann and Bones would come out with Kawhi as they have done post All-Star break. And the thing to me is like the lineups have just been so good with that unit. I just don't get why you would stray away from it, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was a little bit diminishing returns in game 1. Obviously, things are different, playoff environment. But I think, to have to completely abandon that, to me would actually be kind of troubling. That maybe Ty Lue is overthinking things a little bit too much. So I'm curious to see what Bones' minutes look like in this game too. But
do you think it depends if they start Okogie instead of Craig? Or do you think?
Then I want Amir Coffey locking up Torrey Craig.
Amir Coffey jersey,
Off the bench? I mean,
if he gets a jersey on NBA auctions, I'm buying it. His was more expensive than Zubac's. He did have one on there, and it was $440.
he had people in Minnesota running that bet up, I bet.
all the Brian Seaman nicknames and stuff he's giving them, all the puns.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
But Bones and T-Man started the second quarter with Russ, with Norman Powell, and Mason Plumlee, and they won those minutes. They got them up to 16, just like they had been starting second quarters recently with Kawhi going to the bench after playing the full first quarter. He went right back to it, and it worked. So I'd expect to see it again.
And
agreed.
We talked about the 3-point kind of math problem here for the Clippers. They only hit 32% of their threes. The Suns shrink the floor. They put a bunch of guys in the paint, especially when Russ is out there. We're going to see that. So, I am really hoping we see some of these goose eggs from some 3-point shooters turn a little bit better. Russ, do not take 6 3-pointers. I do not care how open they are. Please do not take 6 3-pointers. Norm's going to hit more than 1 of 4. Terrence is going to hit more than 1 of 3. Bones is probably going to hit more than 1 of 3. So we're going to get some help there too. And if Batum can hit some early, that will be huge for the Clippers to take this game too, I think.
If they hit 15 threes or more, I think they're winning game 2. What
Like
was the number?
Said, they're 13-3 when they hit 16 or more threes this year, the Clippers.
Let me change that to 16 then. They hit 16 or more. They're capable of it, especially
they're 0-12 when they hit exactly 15. So pick that number, Adam. I'm just kidding.
No, to what Will was talking about with those doubles coming to Kawhi, that's when you have to knock down those shots. That's when the ball was swinging around the perimeter. Nicholas Batum went 1 of 3 from the outside. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a couple more up in his 21 minutes, playing a little bit more in game 2, because if Nick Batum gets hot from 3, that's another guy late in ball games that just comes up with clutch shots from distance.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, we're going to be talking some predictions, why that old man was yelling at Russell Westbrook at halftime, and then we might check in with the Clippers curse. I don't know if he's around or not. We got ads coming up. Those have been a little loud for people. We got ads coming up and predictions. Ads in 3, 2, 1.
Clips and Dip, episode 137. We got a special guest, Carl Tart, with us. I'm Adam Oslin. We got Chuck Mockler, William Updike. We did 2 different podcasts, one on Clippers Talk last night, and then the Clips and Dip pod in studio in Burbank. You guys definitely want to check that out at Clippers Podcast on YouTube, at Clippers Pod on Twitter. So a video came out, I guess, right after halftime. I didn't see it till much later in the game. I actually thought it was after the game, of Russell Westbrook getting into it with a fan in like a shoot of the tunnel that almost looked like Best of the Best.
A club area.
Eric
like
Roberts.
A suite area.
Yeah.
So what it is so there is where the away locker room is, there's a door that's right in front of that leads to like a Lexus lounge.
The Lexus, yeah.
That goes
the sushi pile.
Yeah, that goes right directly to the court, as opposed to a super long walk that gets you to the tunnel.
Right.
So he was cutting through there, and somebody said something crazy to him.
Terrible stadium design.
Terrible stadium design, especially when your stadium is in Phoenix, Arizona, the Alabama of the West.
Agreed. More of this talk. I love that. Arizona's a trash state. Phoenix is a hole in the ground that only exists because of air conditioning. If you look at when air conditioning was invented, that's when that state started to take off. The NBA is going to investigate this, but people don't think anything's going to happen to Russ. I can't see anything happening to Russ.
Better not. And he better not get fined for this. They
called him Westbrook, and he was like, say that shit again. And the guy was like, maybe I will. And then Russ was like, I could kill you if I wanted to, but I have to go.
Was it Westbrook? Is that what
it was Westbrook?
That's
okay. What
If you got to use a Skip Bayless insult to go after somebody, you are as unoriginal as it gets. That is pathetic.
It is not even about originality. He was an asshole, and to me, I'm really upset with the league since the Malice in the Palace. Like, these players should not be subjected to anybody saying anything to them that is not positive. Like, now, maybe he shouldn't have walked.
I think you can trash talk, but I think when you're trash talking a guy from halftime, being like, "What's up?" like to his face, like he's lucky. Like
trash talk from the crowd.
Yeah.
Also,
fully.
Like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Twitter becoming real life, because people did not act like this.
No shit.
Before that, I mean, they there were people that did, but they got
they got the shit kicked out of them. Like,
Carl, do you think that this Twitter coming to real life just has to do with there just not being enough ass kickings anymore?
That's it. Because that dude only said that because he knows that Russ technically
he had a security guard with him too. Like Russ had security, which I'm also like, your stadium's broken if you're needing to pull security in to pull people.
A clarification on the stadium thing. There's apparently multiple ways to enter the visiting locker room, and this way through half court that goes through the thing, whatever. It's not the main entrance to the visiting locker room. No. It's like, I guess, according to Miriam Swanson, fabulous reporter. Yeah, shout out Miriam. Check out her work at OC Register. This shortcut was something that players got accustomed to doing during the COVID times, because it's just a faster way to the visiting locker room. I think you go through half court or something. But so that's not going to be a thing anymore. But regardless, the onus isn't on the players and shouldn't be on the players for which direction they have to walk.
Yeah,
to avoid
slander.
They are at work. So I messed up. I never get into comment sections on Instagram. I'm not a guy.
You don't even have a Twitter. Adam was asking if he had a Twitter. I said he does not.
I do not have a Twitter. I do not.
We could be beefing. What's going on, man?
That's because I hate that shit. I hate it so much. And but I did get into a shade room comment section.
Oh no!
The other night. Oh, that's not worse than Twitter. That's not worse than Twitter. It only I got a few replies. I got like 50 replies because I'm verified. It goes up to the top.
Yeah, that's true.
But so people were replying. Most people were on my side because they're somewhat logical.
What was this debate about?
I just said the NBA does a shitty job with protecting its players, like from stupid fans. That's bad. And then people were like, the argument that somebody gets paid. And let me just say this: I don't care what player it is, except Joe Ingles. But other than that, no player in the NBA, none, even ones that I don't like. I don't like Luka Doncic. He shouldn't have to go through it. No player in the NBA should have to deal with a human being insulting them that is within earshot, within a distance.
When the game is not being played.
Yes. No player should have to deal with that. That fan should be immediately removed, immediately banned. When I went to watch a game at Barclays, we were down in the little VIP. Shout out to my boy Charlie Widows
we love Charlie
Sandro,
Widows. Yeah, shout out Charlie.
And Sandro, he hooked me up with a nice little situation at the Brooklyn Nets, and we got to stand there when the players ran out. The security was there deep. There was a stanchion, and they were like, "Stand here.
Yeah.
If you say anything negative,
see what happens.
You're out. Y'all can say what's up. Y'all can say, hey, oh, hip hop hooray, oh. But if you say anything negative, you're out. And I think that's a KD thing. Like I bet you KD was like, if they're gonna stand there, don't let.
They can't say shit. They can only say onomatopoeias. They can only
go. Yeah.
Or a Kyrie thing when he looked back at that guy and said, "Suck my."
I mean, and that's a time where it's like, I don't understand. But this argument, I stopped my thought. I have to go back and say this because I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Just because these people make a certain amount of money does not mean they should be subjected to assault. That is a dumb piece of logic. Fair. If you agree with that, you are a dumbass person that needs to be institutionalized. I do not believe in like, oh, this person makes more money than me, so I should be able to insult them.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of people making a lot more money than professional athletes. We should be assaulting them, but we don't get the access.
Like I just.
But the access is exactly the problem. Like they're selling these tickets for so much money because you're in close proximity to players, and that's what leads to this. In an idealistic world, I agree. Like it should never happen. It's just hard to regulate everything out there because so many people are saying shit.
They have an extra day.
I think you're right though. They just have to it just has to be a ban. Like
they have an extra day.
You're done.
Russ needs to go to this guy's work and do the Seinfeld and just heckle him at whatever used car dealership this guy works at or realtor. It is Arizona. I know it's a diverse economy between cars and real estate and golf clubs or whatever they do down there. I would love it.
They never want to have that argument though. I literally asked the guy. I was like, because the guy responded to me like, "It's freedom of speech. Russ shouldn't be soft." And
that's not how freedom of speech works.
That's not how freedom of speech works, man. He's at his job. Yeah. If you go into somebody's job and you start yelling insults at them and say freedom of speech, you will be arrested.
I worked at a Umami Burger at the Grove. We had people yell at us all the time, and it was not freedom of speech. They were not allowed to do that shit.
I'm calling the cops, especially. I don't think people realize, and on Twitter for some reason, it's like if I feel threatened and you are in my personal space, I have the option to defend myself.
I'm going to defend myself. Yes,
and that so it ain't just like because what they say is here Russ finna get Russ. That guy wants him to hit him so he can get sued. I'm like there is lawsuits that deal with stuff like that, but also if you're in my personal space and you are assaulting me, verbally assaulting and harassing me, I have the option to defend myself. And that can be physical, and I am within my rights to do so.
The guy kept saying, like, don't talk about it, be about it. Like, don't talk about it, be about it. It's like, dude, what are you saying?
That's a threat. I feel threatened. I'm going to beat your ass now.
What about this? if you want to say disparaging things, you can sign a waiver saying that any athlete is not legally responsible for
100%.
anything.
I love that
100%.
idea.
I
More
love
of that.
About that life waiver.
Yeah, literally.
As
That
soon
is
as
the
soon as you
perfect
mention it-
name for it.
If you're entering a place that is close to be able to interact with players, you should be able to sign a waiver that says if you say something crazy
Yeah,
to this
about that
man,
life waiver.
I'm not gonna stop him.
This
And I'm
is
taking-
And the league and the league is not responsible because you signed this
The
contract.
FAAFO waiver. Fuck around and find out waiver is what
How
it
the hell
would
do
be.
you get off? Even if, honestly, as much as I hate Joe Ingles, if that man walked past me today and
At Creation Organic.
at Creation
Your
Organic,
creation, of course. Waiting for
and
time.
I'm sitting there waiting for Terrence eating some coconut vegan balls or whatever.
I don't even know what they have over there.
Bean
Yeah.
sprouts.
Yeah, and Joe Ingles walks in. I'm gonna give him a dirty look, but I'm not gonna say nothing crazy to him because he's 6'8" in the NBA.
Right.
And
And
I'm not-
Australian. Yeah.
And I don't give a shit about the Australian part, but that is overhyped like AD versus Jokic. I'm just him being a pro athlete that works out
Right.
at a high level every day. I'm not gonna get the gumption that I'm
Right.
gonna whoop his ass, and I'm a person who can whoop people's asses.
Right. You're not going to spin the block at creation, which would be
No.
funny to see. But
Well, spinning the block is a different thing.
Yeah, that'd be a lot worse.
I
Yeah,
can't
that
say
would
that.
be- yeah.
I can't say that on the air. We'll
Yeah,
talk
don't
about
do
that
that.
when we get off.
regarding the fan-player interaction, though. This is why Charles Barkley says like every show on TNT.
he threw a guy through a glass window when he was a player.
Right, but he spit on a little girl.
Hey,
She was a real bitch.
People don't
should've been
talk about
talking
that.
shit.
But he says before every game, one fan should be able to come out and get their ass whooped at half court by a player because that would set an example to everyone else who wanted to be a heckler that night.
Yeah.
He says it all the
Exactly.
time.
And also, oh man, I just forgot something. Oh, E40 in Sacramento.
Yep.
E40 goes to every Warriors game, and a lot of the games on the road. He comes down, especially the California ones. He's gonna go to the Lakers. He's gonna go to Clippers. He's gonna go to Sacramento when they play. Like, do you really think that E40 instigated a fight with a fan?
No.
Come on, man.
He has too much money.
He was being crazy respectful. He's wearing all black. Like he wasn't even wearing like his usual Warriors gear, which is
Well, I
very
don't care if
stylish.
he was wearing fucking Rick Barry's skin.
That would be
doesn't
tight.
matter what it doesn't matter what he's wearing. He's not gonna instigate no fight with no fan. He's a rapper.
Right.
He's not gonna instigate no fight with nobody.
No.
That dude was clearly being an asshole, and E40 is the one that's being caught. Man, it's just bad. It's just bad management by the NBA. It's bad on the NBA. And honestly, if between this and the refereeing, and if the Lakers make the finals this year, I'm done. I'm done next season. I'm
You're
done,
done?
y'all. I'm
You're
out.
done?
I'm out.
All right. Carl Tart, maybe. Okay, so game 2 predictions. Are we all predicting a win? Adam, are you predicting a win?
I mean, the Clippers could be playing the dream team, and I'd be predicting a win. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game. But I am going to adjust from what I said before the series, which is they got to win one of these games that's going to be close in the first 2 games in Phoenix, and the other likely could be a Phoenix Suns blowout. I don't know if it's going to be. The Clippers didn't give them their best shot, and they still won in game 1. They have other ways to beat them still. Even if Kawhi doesn't have 38, if he has 30 on 22 shots and isn't having the most efficient night still overall, they can win that game with other guys stepping up, especially Big Sue.
All right, Will, are the Clippers winning game 2?
I'm feeling irrationally confident about this. I would love nothing more than to go back into Phoenix and walk out with another win.
Hell yeah. Carl, are the Clippers winning game 2 and taking a commanding series lead?
Absolutely.
Hell
We're
yeah.
winning the game.
There
We're
we
winning
go.
this game. We're winning this game. Lock it in. And then get ready to be real disappointed game 3.
Carl, are you going to any of the home games?
I do have a ticket. I do not believe I can go. I have an engagement. So if you 3 want to fight for the ticket.
We're already going. I got media.
Oh, okay.
We got media passes.
Oh, excuse me.
No big deal.
You sitting up in the crow's nest? You sitting up in the
Oh,
crow's
I'm
nest?
even higher up.
Oh,
They
yeah.
put me in the elevator sometimes. I don't
All
even
right, so if
see
one of
what's
y'all
going on
wants a
with that game.
106,
I might take a 106. And Carl, I know that you do live by yourself, which is a luxury here in Los Angeles. But do I see the Clippers curse in your apartment behind you? Is he there right now?
Oh, hello, boys.
Oh, he's back. Curse. It was almost a really good season for you. The Clippers pulled it out. They made the playoffs. Well, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about Game 2 right now?
You know what? I messed up. I messed up completely. I went to brunch as well, and I watched the game, and I got way too drunk, and I was too drunk to curse the guys, to do what I do, to do what I do best. I slept right through the game. And
have you gotten any talk from your friends about needing to slow it down at all?
No, of course not. Of course not. They say I should speed it up.
They love the curse on the sauce.
8 more mimosas. So what I did, I woke up. The game was almost over. There was nothing else I could do. I gave him a little bit of a razzle dazzle in the third quarter, but other than that, there was nothing else I could do. And so I decided to go to the movies with Carl and make sure that popcorn holes got stuck in his gums.
Well, Curse, I hope you're done this year. I hope it's finished this year. I don't think you're going to move into it. I don't think that will happen. But
I might take that off. As long as our good buddy Donald Sterling is alive, I will be here.
That is very true. That makes
I'm not going anywhere. So enjoy your win, perhaps in Game 2. Maybe I'll miss that one too. I have a date, but I will be there for the home game.
Who are you going on a date with, Curse? What app are you on?
Mother Teresa.
Well, Curse, I think that's about time. We thank you for possessing Carl's body for this one brief second. Carl, I think you're back. It's very good to see you back again. Carl, thank you so much for coming on this show. Every time we have you on, Clippers fans absolutely love it. They love that you're a Clippers fan from LA. It's fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to promote that these people somehow don't know that you're in? You're a lot bigger than we are. So
listen,
what
man,
got going on? You got shows. What's up, buddy?
Watch Grand Crew on NBC, 8:30 p.m. Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Catch it the next day on Peacock. I try to sneak in something Clippers every episode. I'm probably the only person who has repped the Clippers this much on television.
Literally,
got it.
100%.
On purpose.
Hall of Fame.
And I don't think I've seen it elsewhere besides maybe that movie, maybe Bewitched with Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
I'm a Clippers fan.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And and then also Kenya Barris has a Clippers court in his house, which I am definitely getting when I find it.
What? And Anthony Anderson reps Clipper stuff too.
I've seen him rep Clipper stuff on Blackish.
Yeah.
But check it out.
But currently, come on.
I actually have something big that I want to promote, and it's going to be real fun. On May 19th at Catch One here in Los Angeles, I am going to be DJing a show opening up for Smoke DZA.
Let's go. So, Lamar's out there too. Shout out Lamar Woods.
Lamar will be performing at that. Our buddy from Atlanta, Curtis Dro, will be performing at that show. So come out, come one, come all. Everybody get in there and check out Smoke DZA. He's headlining the show, and check out everybody. And I'll be in there spinning the tunes.
What was that date again? I mean?
May 19th.
May 19th.
Check the Catch One website. Mark it down.
May 19th. Adam, Will, anything else you want to tell these fantastic Clippers listeners before we send them out on their blissful Monday evening before we all get stressed tomorrow?
No, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast. Rate and review us over on iTunes or Spotify. We're on YouTube over at Clippers Podcast and on Twitter at Clippers Pod. Thanks for listening.
Clips and Double Dip tomorrow night. Who's coming with me? Is Carl coming on?
Hey,
Carl, I'll get you on with Morris in Long Beach, same time.
Let me tell you, I gotta do my impression of Adam talking to anybody.
Yep, let's do it. Yep, all right.
All right. We got Marlon and Reseda. What do you got for me, Marlon? Hey, first time. What's up, Adam? How you doing, man? I'm good, Marlon. Yeah, man. So it was a good game tonight. Zubac only had 4 points, but he had 9 rebounds, Marlon. 9 rebounds. What do you want from him? What do you want from the guy, Marlon? Oh, yeah, my bad. Well, I like when they play in the tonight they played in the city edition. It wasn't the city edition, Marlon. They played in the statement editions tonight, Marlon. Listen, man. Anyway, we're not here to talk about their jerseys. Thank you for calling, Marlon. Mom never seen it. Like, God, Adam, let my man make his point. No, I'm just messing with you.
Look, I'm just trying to be accurate, okay? You get the jerseys wrong, you might get a lot of stuff wrong.
Hey, that's fair. So there will be a double dip tomorrow. There's going to be a preview pod on Wednesday for the first game back in LA. We're going to be at that game in LA. Say what's up. Carl will not be there. Maybe I'll be at 106. I don't know what's going on. But we will have a double dip again tomorrow after the hopeful Clippers win. And then that big preview pod on Wednesday for game 3. That about wraps it up. And nothing else to say, but, let's go Clips.
Let's go Clips.